Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Coco here
Oh,
with Advo from Evo Guacamole Gaming, and we're continuing black screen.
oh,
Um,
darkness, my old friend.
I've come to talk with you again. Alright, let's see what's waiting for us. Click. Oh, okay. That's cute.
Just gal pals being pals as gals.
Of course, the friendliest of friends.
Yes. All right. Last one.
Rosa puffed her cheeks in mock disgust. Fine.
How do you make holy water?
How?
Boil the hell out of it.
Rose and Catherine were assaulted by fits of hysterical laughter. God damn this game. I was like,
I'm
okay,
hilarious because I'm drunk.
something terrible is gonna happen. Oh, now it's okay. Catherine felt the muscles of her cheeks ache. That is so bad. I don't even have the words.
Of course you
Catherine
don't.
wiped
You're drunk like me.
the tears of laughter from her eyes.
I heard that one from one of your shooters. Sire Adrian. I can pronounce things because I'm drunk.
Rosa rolled her eyes.
How come I always end up talking to your suitors more than you? I must start charging you a fee.
I'll pay it with my gratitude.
What's wrong with Sire Adrian anyway? He seems like a nice man. Do
He's.
you not like Dick?
No, I don't.
Nice hair, nice teeth, nicely groomed mutton chops. Like, what more could you want?
Hmm. You drive a hard bargain there. The women laughed.
How about Sire Ferrand? He sent you that lovely bouquet of flowers. I didn't get the opportunity to mispronounce bouquet.
I am not interested in a relationship at the moment.
At the moment, you don't seem ever interested ever in any ever.
I am. Sometimes. It is just hard to connect to people for me beyond the physical. Relationship seems out of the question.
You don't have any difficulty with me or that idiot in the upper room. He's not incapable. Hey, is it because it seems like all men are two-dimensional to you? Ha, ha, ha.
That is only because you are my closest friends.
Well, there must be someone. Ah, you're so picky. If you go on like that, you might end up an old maid.
So be it. I'd rather take care of your children anyway. I shall be the amazing godmother. Catherine smiled wistfully.
I'm not sure I want any. I had to stop drinking.
What? I mean, yeah, you do need to stop, but why not?
Children. I love children, but I can only eat so many. It's a little scary. What's this, a nom nom nommy game?
Catherine bit her lip. What if she becomes her own mother? It was such a terrifying possibility, wasn't it? She barely remembered her mother. Her malady had struck as soon as Catherine was born.
Ah,
She had never called Catherine by her name, not even on the day she died. All she knew was that their family struggled with that crisis. Her father, exhausted and depressed, and her sister forced to grow up too fast. To be a blight to the people you love, how horrible would it be? Catherine. Rosa smiled at her, interrupting her thoughts. You will be a good mother. Your past does not matter. Catherine stared at Rosa, almost enchanted at her ability to know what she was thinking. She really was her best friend, her gal pal, wasn't she? The thought warmed her heart.
You really think so?
Yes.
Even with my alcoholism?
We'll just hide all the alcohol. The fact that you are so concerned about them before they are even born speaks much of your kindness. Whatever happens, those children will grow up loved. Catherine blushed and changed the subject.
Oh, we're out of booze. We finished it.
Well,
all the
mostly
booze
you.
is gone.
That was mostly you. I'm quite buzzed.
Hey, remember the first time we drank?
Do you mean the party or the potato incident?
Of course I mean the potato incident. I mean...
Oh, how could I forget? Rosa burst out laughing. That was hilarious.
where was this potato shoved?
Oh dear. And now she looks kind of manic.
Huh?
And now she looks kind of scary. Her eyes.
Wait! Stop laughing! I almost went to jail! Goodness, I was so stupid.
Rosa laughed again. Amen.
Hey, you're supposed to say, "No, Catherine, we do dumb things when we're young."
Catherine, we do dumb things when we're young. It's about time you learn your lesson. I can't wait to tell your children endless tales of your shenanigans.
Winch. Shenanigans.
Tut
The
tut.
next person who says that word's getting pistol whipped.
Catherine grabbed Rosa's waist and attempted to tickle her, but Rosa slipped away laughing. Catherine's stomach lurched and she stopped, her hand still hugging Rosa's waist. The room spun, but it wasn't unpleasant. She felt like being gently rocked in a cradle. She closed her eyes and smiled. She took in Rosa's scent, always smelling slightly like apples.
Uh-oh, this is going sapphic.
Good. Well, it would be good if there wasn't alcohol involved.
Yes,
But
I agree.
A part of me still just like, good. Rosa scratched her head and smoothed her hair.
This is nice.
Yes.
Rosa? You wanna fuck? I mean, thanks for being with... Thank you for being with me.
Of course.
No, I mean...
She sat up on the bed.
This is... The sapphic levels are at least at 70%.
That's where I was thinking it was going when we got the black screen.
Like, it started off, it was already like, gal pals in bed. We're already a quarter way there.
Yeah.
They jumped on top of each other, whatever. That's halfway there. We're definitely at 70% now. I'm rising with every second.
Yes.
You've been with me all my life. You are my oldest friend. Like, you're not the oldest person that is a friend of mine, but like you've been friends the longest. I know if that made sense to you, but I think complicated when I'm drunk.
It happens.
When we first met, I didn't have many friends. I just studied my piano lessons night and day, because that's all I ever knew to do. It was all I had. especially since the horse was sold to get the piano.
I miss that horse.
Maybe that was why I begged Papa to let you stay with us. I was so happy.
Rosa smiled fondly at the memory.
You were there for me. Always. Ugh, it sounds so disgustingly melodramatic and delightfully sapphic. I'm gonna use sapphic a lot.
You're drunk. I understand. They laughed again, merrily, gaily, lesbially.
Lesbianly.
Would you like to hear something worse?
What?
You changed my life.
Ugh, that is worse.
I like this a lot.
Now I'm gonna have to puke.
Go to Guillem's room first.
You
Rosa smiled fondly as she played with Catherine's hair.
think I could fill up one of his boots?
Why don't you find out?
Yes.
I'm the lucky one, Catherine. You took me home and treated me like I was family. I wouldn't have known what a real family was like without you, Papa Francois, and Amélie. Even if Papa Francois always did avoid me, I knew he cared for me like his own.
Yes. Why is that?
That was why I liked him. He was a good man. And you know, Guilleme was almost family too. Catherine made a face at the mention of the man, but her eyes softened.
I miss my papa.
Me too. There was a pause. Catherine shifted awkwardly in her skin.
Can I tell you a secret?
Of course.
This is gonna be gay. Maybe. Oh. Guilleme and I. We haven't had the bad smacky
Boingy
the sex
doingy.
thing. I haven't had the ding dong in my woo woo.
Recently?
No, I mean like at all. Ever.
Oh. Well, it's okay. I can help you. Rosa cleared her throat. I see. After all these years?
Well, penises are scary. After the first time, never again.
Rosa blushed. Her head knitted together images of the two people she considered her friends. Rosa tried to push them away, but all she was able to do was paint the warped fantasies in gossamer and fuzz. She cleared her throat. Is that why you have separate rooms, even when we moved back here to the chateau?
No, that was his idea. He's very peculiar with his sleep. He's usually sucking the life force out of people. And like, that keeps me up at night.
It's weird shit, man.
I imagine we'll be keeping the separate bedrooms even when we get married. I don't mind it so much.
Well, your wedding is soon, isn't it? Perhaps you're just nervous.
Nah, I don't think that's it. Recently, we get the intimatato. But I always stopped when things got too sultry.
Oh.
He gets upset sometimes, but he says it's alright. And by sultry, I mean like touching my ankles.
Sounds Sometimes I lift my skirt and I feel so ashamed. Catherine looked down ruefully on her toes.
He doesn't push me into it. I should be glad.
Well, I guess, but I think you should set your bar up higher.
Well, it does sound like for somebody who is a sexual person in a relationship that is not having sex, as it were, this seems it's not an easy thing to do. So he seems to be handling it very respectfully, though.
He is like on Guillem's part. I think he's doing right, but it's like not being pushed into sex. Not pushing someone into sex is not something that should be commended, since it's a given that you shouldn't do that. So
yeah,
it just seems
it's like you weren't as much of a dick as you could have been. Yeah, absolutely. But don't you think it's strange? What if I stay like this even after we get married? I don't understand why. I'm gonna get these doubts, and I wonder why they're there. It's like I don't even want a dick anywhere near me. Isn't that unfair for him? I just feel like there's something wrong with me. See, this is interesting because this as much as we're pushing this as sapphic, and I'm gonna keep saying that word. eh, if you were a really ambitious editor, you could have a sapphic counter, but that is a painfully difficult thing with little laughs, so don't do it. But like, this could easily be she's asexual.
Yeah.
And like, this is a tricky thing because it's like, how do you go about this? And this is even worse because this is even before we really had much of a concept of asexuality and such. And even to a large part, I know America at this time, women were viewed as defaultly asexual, that they weren't ever capable of enjoying sexual intercourse. So it was never really thought of as
something out of the sort of like its own definition and its own sort of support.
Well, yeah, which is actually the reason why lesbian relationships, for the large part, were ignored, and you had things like the famous Boston marriages, where women lived together, because they didn't view women as potentially having any sexual drive of their own and having sexual enjoyment. So there was no way two women could have a sexual relationship. So they just ignored it. They're like, it's like they're pretending they're married.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was cute. They're just gal pals, though.
Yeah. And this kind of ties in with a series I want to do about examining the yuri genre and anime and a lot of the history of lesbianism specifically in Japan. Because in Japan, this sort of sentiment that women don't have a sex drive still exists very, very powerfully. And I'm just a small spiel, since it's something I really want to try and find a way to organize. But one of the things I kind of found most fascinating about the yuri genre is that you'll notice almost all of it takes place in a high school. And that's because any relationship between women is supposed to be seen as transient and pure. So a woman is still untainted to eventually marry a man who will sort of put his claim on her, because it's still sort of seen as this thing that women will eventually grow out of. And if a woman is still interested in women past like 18 years of age, she is seen as having some mental or emotional deficiency.
Yeah, it's viewed. There's a very high connection to like being childish. It's like you like a girl who likes girls likes them because they haven't matured enough to like boys yet.
Yep.
And
Definitely.
and for a large part, if you're in high school and you feel that way, it's largely ignored because it's like, yeah, they'll grow out of it type of thing. But so it's this kind of demeaning pity almost.
Yep.
But it's, I mean, it's better than outright viciousness. But anyway, yeah, it's weird how much gay content exists in Japan so openly, yet like the
It's
actual treatment of of gay people in Japan is still pretty behind. Like,
still very behind, and even within that, a lot of the representation is still not very good at all.
oh yeah, a
So
lot of it is still.
it's still like sort of that battle of, do you still take it because it's still some representation, or do you fight it? And it's why, even though you know it's queer baiting, you still go for it because it's something.
There's also the whole like thing that's getting a lot more pushed now. I've noticed is that um uh uh having I forget what it, having a fetish for queer relationships is not activism
Yeah.
type of thing. Just because you are really turned on by relationships of the same gender doesn't mean that you actually are in any way
Supportive or an
supporting them. Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna say one more thing and we'll end this episode. When gay marriage became legal in the United States, it was really sort of sickening to see a lot of people on Tumblr talking about how all their ships can now, get married. And it's just like, really? Really? That's what you're gonna go for?
Well, I'll give them this. Like it's it can be misinterpreted like that. Like, if that's your first response, obviously that's a big problem. If it's like an afterthought that bemuses you after the yes, this is a good thing, I can see that happening from a decent person, especially somebody who is genuinely for uh, queer rights, but has no actual like gay, lesbian, bi, trans, etc. friends that like that's really their only connection. And so like it kind of gets to like, well, now that I'm happy for the philosophical victory, yay, this one aspect of my life that it tangentially involves. So it's a potentially mixed bag.
Alright, that's fair. I can see that.
Yeah, I always do that, always trying to like randomly. Well, that's the reason why I'm the devil's avocado. That's actually like, it wasn't random that I attached to that. Is I like to take the unknown side and be like, well, it possibly this could be such and such type of thing. So
So you live up to your name today in this.
yes.
Alright, well, we'll see you next time, folks. Thank you for joining us.
Farewell.
But yeah,
I feel so sorry for these goblins. They're just having a nap.
Yeah. To be fair, like he's probably got like PTSD just at the sight of them.
Yeah, probably. He's triggered, and she has to, like, while he's cowering in the corner, stroke his hair and tell him it's okay.